Hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Homeseek. So, where were we? We're going to do an expedition. How banger is this game? So if we go new expedition, 0 out of 6. And we've got 3 available. Hang on, so let's rework this. I know we were potentially waiting for more survivors, but also stuff them. Alright, if I take a dude out of the water thing, does it update in real time? It does too, look at that. -5 per day. Alright, we might be able to work with that. -70 per day. More likely that we reduce somewhere else. Medical center, I think we want to keep manned. Scrap pile. Maybe the scrap pile's where we do it. Yeah. Alright, new expedition. Max. Now what's this? Inventory capacity. Exploration speed. Protection. Resources found bonus. Make sure you take enough resources with you before heading out. Each expeditioner needs about 50 food, 50 water, 50 scrap every day in order to cover all his needs. Oh, that's a good point. Wait, 50 scrap as well. Jesus. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there you go. That's a day's worth. So see how there's 6, and then you got the 3 there. Through expeditions, you can explore the wasteland. Expedition parties will leave the settlement until they complete the expedition. Larger the party, the faster they will explore. Before sending them out, make sure that you have enough for their trip. Yeah, alright, well let's just send them for a day's worth. How's that sound? That sounds good, let's do that. Waiting for expeditioners to gather. Right, and meanwhile, our food and water supply should be solid. Okay, let's go. Let's do that. And they're gathering up at the expedition site. Sending expeditions. Once the party is ready, you can simply click on it and then right-click on the location you want to send them to. Once they are there, you'll be required to make a couple of decisions. Be sure to check their statuses and resources. Okay. Waiting. Mudlands, 11 hours. Okay. Okay. Let's get out of... How do I get out of here? I'll probably click on there. Okay, right. So off they go, I guess. A little bit like caravans in RimWorld, I suppose. Survivors arrive. Here they are. Okay, cool. Finally, the other survivors from the old bunker arrive. Weary from their journey, but glad to find some semblance of respite. We welcome them with friendly faces and open arms, but we worry inwardly that our community is growing too large to support itself. Oh, okay, that's interesting. There may be strength in numbers, but the pressure of finding more food is clearly on everyone's mind. Alright, well, let's welcome them. Some people are dehydrated, starving, sick, that sort of thing. Well, let's pause to sort of collect ourselves. Alright, first things first, we're not generating enough water. How's that water hole looking? Still going alright. Water storage, 250. Alright. The first thing we need to do is man the scrap piles. Food-wise, that'll do us. Okay, we've got more scrap piles out this way. Very good. Okay, let's go with that for now. I guess we've got to wait for clock on. Geez, our food got dangerously low. A resource pile has been depleted. Crap. New priority. Food storage. Alright, let's do that. Our water's running down. Got available dudes. I guess they need to build. Wait, what happened here? An expedition party requires your attention. You've completed research. Oh, those things are disappearing fast. Okay, I need to pay attention to them. Mudlands. Long ago, fresh, clean water was so abundant that the idea it could be gone one day was simply inconceivable. Now the whole world is dusty and barren, and all places that may have once been wet are dry as a bone. Day 3. Cracked earth and sand give way to viscous mud as we near the wetlands, making our journey all the more arduous. Before we see any water at all, though, we come across a small old ship, completely beached, lying on its side on dry earth. None of us have any idea how it could have gotten here. What should we do? Check inside the ship for anything of value? Oh, absolutely. We spend the time exploring the ship. Oh, right, okay, so that's going to take out of their supplies? Sure. That's fine, that makes sense. Alright, so that needs to get built. And we need a new water extractor. And honestly, that'll get it built, boys. Oh, and I need new research, don't I? Permanently increase the collection for water extractor. Oh, that might help. Alright, hang on. Increase maximum workers at research. That's not that important. Permanently increase number of expedition parties. That might be important. Increase the expedition party size. Maybe. House. Increase the maximum allowed occupants. Let's do that for starters. Because we do have some homeless, don't we? Expedition party requires your attention. The ship's rusty engine block still has some parts that seem likely they could be salvaged as scrap. Plus 500 scrap. Let's go. Alright, day 3, later in the afternoon. Or an early afternoon. Exploring deeper into the wetlands, a single figure soon appears on the horizon, coming toward us. It walks on stilts through the mud, and with every step, metallic jingles can be heard from a great sack it carries on its back. It stops before nearing our party, then raises a mud-slathered hand to point at us. What should we do? Attack the figure? No. Well, I mean, you've got a lot of scrap. Maybe offer it some scrap. Oh, here we go. Let's just let that tick down. We offer the mysterious figure some of our scrap. After receiving our offering, the figure reaches into its wrappings and produces a small, colourful trinket. It's not particularly useful, but the gesture of good faith is somewhat reassuring. So we've got some happiness. Okay. then if we 1352. All right, we've jumped forward a few hours. After hours of trudging, we finally reached the center of the wetlands, a tiny pond lined with some thin reeds, the only water that we've seen for miles. It's a lonely, depressing sight against the backdrop of the expanse of grey-brown mud, until we notice that some of the water near the reeds actually looks somewhat clear and drinkable. We study the effect that the reeds have on the water and harvest some samples to bring back home. Fantastic. Fantastic. No connections. Yep, that's fine. If I delete this, will I lose my stored food? I don't think so. Surely not. That's unfair. Really? It doesn't transfer it to another food storage? Ah, man. That's gross. Well, it is what it is, right? I'm dying for our sins. Best way to figure these things out, you know? Need medical care? Go to the tent. Water extractor. Oh, okay, this needs connections. Right, efficiency. Does the distance affect it? One drop at a time. All right, completed. What was that bit? You can now research for wetlands. Oh. Well, have I finished the housing research? There is no cost for making research. Additionally, you can initiate the research of a new technology without losing progress. You can only have one thing at a time. Well, yeah, let's research wetlands. An expedition party requires your attention. You've completed the research. What is this sound? Is that part of the soundtrack? Alright. It must be. I've paused the game. We need another house. And I don't have enough scrap. Expedition party. Exploring. Expedition members. Send the party on a free node. What happens when they run out of supplies? Members. Might as well send them. I think I get it. Alright. Build another house. And we're saving scrap for the water connection. At the moment we're running at a deficit, but it's not the end of the world. I think we're doing okay. Now what is this? Expedition party requires your attention. Campus. A center of learning in the old world. There was once such is this the progress made, perhaps? There was once such abundance that people could gather at these places and do nothing except learn all day, for years on end, without worrying about securing food or water for themselves. It's an interesting perspective, isn't it? There are no more students here anymore. but maybe it could still teach us something. Oh, that's a bit poetic. Our expedition finally reaches the outskirts of the campus. Oh, it's day 4 of my playthrough? I was going to say, because I didn't give them 4 days of supplies. Inventory capacity. So they haven't, maybe they stop and eat after a day? I'm not sure. The large buildings of cement and glass, though broken and abandoned, seem to us like they could have once composed an entire city in their own right. We first come across a large hall that has been recently barricaded shut. After banging on the door, a voice from the inside yells back, "Who's there? What should we do?" These people must be fellow survivors. We should invite them to our community. Ooh. Whoever's in there could be dangerous. We should leave them alone. What do we reckon? Should we? They could be dangerous. We don't know them. Maybe we just leave them alone for now. After deliberating for a while, we decide that it's best to move on. Alright. Let that tick down. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay. We come across a small group. Oops, it must have auto-paused, my bad. Come across a small group of buildings. A cursory pass through some yields nothing of value other than scraps of faded paper. One particularly collapsed or partially collapsed structure though, with a sign out front reading chemical engineering, seems as if it might have some salvageable scrap among the rubble. What should we do? Can't waste time salvaging scrap. These old experiments could have been dangerous. Should stay away. No, we should salvage the scrap. Let's go. Meanwhile, researching wetlands, salvaging scrap. I want that 900 scrap to connect up the plastic pipe. Expedition. Alright, they've completed. Oh, wowee. Oh, excuse me, a little tickle in my throat before we get ready to read again. We spend some time picking apart. We gain some scrap from the wreck. Some of us feel a little sick after breathing some of the odd smelling fumes emanating from the rubble. Oh, that's no good. Alright, we finally reach a central area of the university's campus. Some buildings that were once multi-story dwellings surround a relatively open rectangular area. Benches, tables, and other simple amenities lie strewn about, but still mostly intact. It almost looks like it might have been nice to congregate here long ago. We spent some time thinking about the community that was once gathered here. Organisation of the campus quad, paired with some of the valuable amenities we salvaged, gives us ideas of how to structure our own communal spaces. We can now research communal centre. Okay, that's kind of cool. Voting and laws? Oh, okay, that's the beginning of the end. Old farm. Let's travel there. And apparently I can research something new now. Converts contaminated water to pure water. No, that's okay. Let's do that. I still need a bucket load of scrap. The day hasn't started yet. Yeah, look, we're right up against it with water. Depressed citizens. Well, do we have enough housing? We do. What was that beep noise? Technologies. Oh, okay, we've got a technologies tab. Wetlands. Apparently, so what does this do? Convert. Oh, it's a converter thing. Workforce increase, efficiency increase, permanently increase the conversion rate for wetlands. Right. Permanently increase. Okay, well, hang on. Let's worry about community centre. Let's queue that up. And we'll build the conversion thing in a minute. We need to tap more water is what we need to do. Accident. While toiling away at the day's work, we hear a large crash and then some howls of pain. When we investigate, we find that a pair of community members have injured themselves in an accident. If only the dangers of our work weren't an unfortunate necessity for survival. Understood. Oh, well, that's a bit vague. Not that I'm trying to be perverse, but, you know, they had an accident. Maybe be graphic. Be specific. A few citizens lost health. Alright, 900. Geez, that's expensive. I get the feeling it's a distance thing as well. Because it was not that much. Wait, 300? Am I going bananas? Wasn't it 900 last time I checked? Oh, whatever. Oh, look at that. They literally do build the thing over the distance. Okay, let's go. We should tap this water as hard as we can. Probably same goes for the food for now. Having said that, probably use some more bodies. Wetlands. Converts contaminated water. My goodness, look at this thing. Let's get that built. So I don't think anyone will build it during the workday. I like the music. Expedition. Old farm. The old world had enough food to feed every mouth, and places like these were the key. The stories say that years' worth of food would simply spring from the ground. Crops no longer grow on this farm, but we must still try to learn its secrets. The journey to the old farm starts to drain our energy even before the heat wave hits us. Oh, there you go. Look, the resources have ticked over for the day. I wonder how that works. I wonder if they just auto-return. The sun bakes the sand beneath us like an oven, and before long, many of us begin to feel delirious and weak. Our destination is still beyond the horizon, but our map says it can't be too much further. What should we do? Double rations? We can't spare any more water. They're gonna get sick, aren't they? The heat takes a serious toll on our health. Some of us begin to doubt that we'll be making it back home. Lower happiness. For who though? For the expedition? The story said the soil would be moist and fertile here, but the ground is cracked, dry, and covered in dust, and sand for miles in every direction. And so we barely realize that we've arrived at the old farm before we find the half-ruined farmhouse itself. Oh my god, that was a difficult sentence. We're all exhausted by the journey by the time we arrive. What should we do? Take some time to rest in the farmhouse. Probably should, to be honest. And then I think maybe I'll recall them once I'm done. Okay, so this thing's done. Does this need to connect? Alright. Converting 108 to 86. You've completed the research for the community center. Okay, well that's good. Now, water extractor. Increase the water collection for the water extractor. Maybe we do that. Plus 20%. Let's do that. A resource pile has been depleted. Right. There we go, that's better. Can now research the farm. Converts contaminated, poor, or clean water to food. Ah, okay. I guess that makes sense. Let's bring these guys. Oh, they've got an injury. I feel like we should bring them home. Don't want to tempt fate. You know, with that text being, we wonder if we'll ever make it home. Now, does this go down the sort of pathway as well? Like if I tried to build a building... Oh, that's cool. Yeah, cool. So it's smart enough to put the piping along the pseudo sort of roads that are cropping up. Not enough outgoing connections. Oh, right. It has to take the water storage to another water storage. I see. Right. Go connections and I guess outgoing. I need more scrap. How long till this expedition comes home? Because we might put them on a scrap pile. Oh, right, they brought the scrap with them, of course. There we go. There you go, so now it's starting to convert. Good. Can be used for covering citizens' needs with a small chance of damaging them. Moderate chance of damaging them. It's like Frost in Frostpunk. That's great. Accounting? Oh my god. The sun's heat is becoming unbearable, and our unprotected water reserves are evaporating before our eyes. No! The sight of our invaluable water vanishing so quickly prompts us to take inventory of our remaining resources. Our community comes to a grim conclusion. Even without the effects of the heat wave, our water is quickly running out. Our time has suddenly become very limited. We need to think of solutions to these problems and fast. We'll complete the rationing quest. 3 days. Our recent discoveries have proven that our previous vital resources are more limited than ever. Until we think of a permanent solution to our water security problems, it would be good to devise ways of increasing the efficiency by which we distribute these critical resources. Should find a way to reduce water consumption. A mall would be a good place to search for something like that. Right, so you're going to force me onto an expedition. I've got 3 days to do it. Cavern, shopping mall. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I think we can mark time for a little bit. Get some technology up. Bad weather is affecting the functionality of this building. Right. However, maybe I should just push a expedition out. Either way, this is great. I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are too. Yeah, I think maybe we push an expedition. That sounds reasonable. All right, team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.